Yo, everybody remember the video with Diddy and Cassie and all of this nonsense that went on. And now Diddy's behind bars because of all this nonsense, right? And it just goes to show you how social media can turn the whole world against you and do whatever they want when they feel like doing it to you, no matter how demeaning, how wrong the information is. People could just tell a lie and the lie will become facts. Now, with Sean Diddy Combs locked up behind bars over this, he's now filed for an immediate release, saying to a judge defied the jury's order who represented Sean Diddy Combs. Now, in this whole incident that went down, I'm going to give you the details that's missing. Now, the trial that was brought to the appellate lawyers, they're the ones who got to make this decision, right? His appellate lawyer is, Alexandra Shapiro. She's handling that. She's the one who authorized the briefing. Now, she's the one who's the most impressive legal mind you probably have seen in probably all these years of watching these trials. She was very impressive in the case. Now, they already got expedited and granted a request for expedited appeal. So based on the information they've already presented, the fact that they got a request for an expedited appeal lets you know that there were a lot of inconsistencies within this case. A lot of things that went down in this trial that shouldn't have. So let's get into what's going on. Don't forget to hit that like button up. Super chat work, cash app work, everything work. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Carcino.
Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Carcino and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them. Now, because of that numbnuts judge, Sobranoman made these decisions on Puff's character and who he was based on acquitted evidence, in our opinion, even though he swore up and down it wasn't based on acquitted evidence. This was based on facts, and this was based on things that, wasn't in the trial. So because he decided to do that, they sent what they called a request for expedited appeal. Okay? After he sentenced him to this ridiculously long sentence for a Mann Act charges, when he already beat the major cases in the charge numerous of times in his closing statements, he's definitely talking about acquitted information in the trial as his reasoning for the sentence, which should have been immediately kicked out. So the fact that Shapiro got the request for expedited appeal is highly good signs that something is going to happen. So her request for an expedited appeal was granted, and that's a good sign. She asked for an immediate release, and there's a potential that she can get that because he was convicted of 2 Mann Act violations. And if you go by the 2 Mann Act violations, there's no way you could look at this and say, oh, wow, this is crazy. So when they rolled the dice and said, oh, it's not in his hands, whose hands are they talking about? You said it's not in their hands. Whose hands are you talking about then? He was acquitted. He won against the counts that carried mandatory life sentences, would have basically forfeited his entire fortune. He won against that. And you want to put him in jail for the Mann Act. Shows you that people do, and they have political agendas, and they hold everybody down and accountable. They want to show him in every discouraging way. They want to make him look more like a monster in everything they did, the same way they did Orenthal James Simpson. He didn't put money on Tupac's head. That's a lie. This is why I can't even have these type of conversations with people. Y'all want it to be like that. Y'all want it to be something fictional, while the real killers is out there. And y'all subscribe to them. Yeah, of course they're gonna, other people who got something to do with it, they're gonna make you want to believe it's somebody else too. They be, yeah, it's Diddy. It's Diddy. Yeah, blame Diddy. Yes, it is like OJ. OJ won his case, and the man was considered a parasite throughout the community, and he had never been a problem in the community. They loved OJ until that moment happened, and that was it. They turned on OJ. And now everybody's turned on Diddy when he haven't done none of them. See, they not listening. Alexandria Shapiro, she's the one that got granted that. Because they could see that everything that happened in this case, the actual prosecution should be charged in this case. They should be on trial because they charged him excessively for things that he wasn't guilty of, for stacking up the charges just to make it appear to look like something when they knew they had no evidence in it. The Kid Cudi, all that garbage they tried to compile. We got arson. We got kidnapping. It's ridiculous. And everybody just went along with it. We believe anything this dude says. Who's that dude? You talking about me? They never even investigated that Glenn Rogers did it. Glenn said he did it. His brother got information that was never released to the general public about the case. And they didn't even care. The fact that he was cleaning and doing work on our house, he's the Cinderella killer. They know about it. They find anything that he does and they try to make it look suspicious. Oh, Diddy doing something wild. Look at him. He hugging a dude, Russell Brand. Now Russell Brand and Diddy, they getting down. Russell Brand hung around Diddy when they were filming the movie Get Him to the Greek. Oh, I think Diddy's gonna get the early release because you have no grounds to keep him in prison. None. The internet tried to make Justin Bieber a victim of Sean Diddy Combs. That's how crazy this was. I don't know why Justin's protecting Diddy. He needs to come out and say what Diddy did to him. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? How you gonna make somebody be a victim? That's what's wrong with this. Yeah, they making Usher and Diddy. They know Usher did a deal with Diddy and he sold Justin Bieber to Diddy while he went out of town so Diddy can break him in. I said, what are these people doing? This is the delusion that people come up with. Glenn went by a name Charlie. It was like his alter ego. Called himself Charlie all the time. So that could have been his Charlie ID. Who knows? But why wouldn't they follow that up if they cared? OJ was their guy. Even when they knew Furman took the blood slides and poured it on the Bronco, poured it on the gates, everything. Now Diddy's the head of the Illuminati. Really? Diddy would never be that. This is why Diddy should be free. The man did nothing wrong. You see what I'm saying? When you do nothing wrong, fake victims. That's exactly what they were. They weren't victims. Nobody take Gene Deal serious, dog. That's just it. Nobody takes him serious. Just people on the internet. People in real life, no. Because somebody else got a beef with Diddy and they're doing this. Nobody's doing this off the results of what Gene Deal did. He's jumping on the bandwagon now because he was a person that didn't like Diddy. He been there for years. Nobody gave a damn. He can't sue for false imprisonment because he was convicted by the law based on the Mann Act and all of these different things. So part of his acquittal, and when he gets acquitted for the prison time, he can file an appeal to get that taken out. You know, yeah, he'll file an appeal to have that expunged completely off his record, and that would be that. The trial was brought in, and it was like so affectionate how Alexandra Shapiro was the one who authorized a brief but very well known fact that would tell you they were one of the people in the mines that they encountered in 43 years of practice. These other lawyers that was out there, they had all these briefs that people didn't even know they had already expedited and granted her request for an expedited appeal. That is very important. That's the first step. So you have to be granted that first. And people wonder why they didn't file the appeal and all this. That stuff takes time and people going to courts. So through his trial and all the process, he had to be processed to a jail first. He wasn't even processed. He had to be moved in, everything. Then you got to put in the request. The proper procedures have to take place. It just don't happen overnight. This is why we always say, like, this is the weirdest situation ever. I can't imagine this happening to anybody. But yet, the Abercrombie and Fitch guy, they don't even mention him anymore. That was like 1 week of mentioning just to say, hey, we ain't racist. We talked about the white guy too. They tried to destroy his mother, all of it. Well, YouTubers, you can't trust most of these YouTubers. A lot of these people have never had anything real in life. They have their own personal agendas as to why they're doing stuff. You got Vince McMahon, you got Dana White, you got all of these people out here who have done egregious acts. And they looking at Sean Diddy Combs. What about these record producers that were way worse than Sean Diddy Combs, doing the exact same acts and worse? Where are your Todd Moskowitz? Why is he not on this list? Where's his trial? None of this would have ever come to the light. All of these dudes just be talking. These guys thinking they should have got paid more. You on a reality show. Whatever you contracted to get paid, that's what you get paid. Talking about what the show did. We should have got more money. Diddy ripped us off. Diddy ripped you off. First of all, it wasn't Diddy's show. It was MTV. So what the hell are you talking about? Oh, you talking about Lou Pearlman did the same thing. That's true. That is absolutely correct. If you're going to get mad at him, then get mad at Lou Pearlman. But they ain't going to do that. Because then that makes it real. All of these people are lying to themselves. They lying to each other. They have no way of working or operating in a system that that divulges in truth. Oh yeah. What is an expedited appeal? An expedited appeal is when you are basically, it's a legal proceeding that happens. It's like a policy, like an insurance policy thing to get it to go faster, to review a decision. I'll need this expedited to the top. So this is going to move this along faster than dragging it out through the long process. They filed and said, we want this expedited. So when you expedite a package, like when you mail a package, I want it expedited, means I want this to get there as fast as possible, right? So they, instead of waiting through the standard appeal plans, they decided we're going to expedite this so it can go faster, the urgency of it. And they were granted that. So if they found grounds to allow this to be expedited, then there's a good chance he could win the appeal. Because if they said, well, we don't find nothing here enough for them to want to expedite it, we don't see that here, then that's something else, right? Then that takes it from the realm of reality to the realm of fiction. Then you see other people be like, okay, well, we don't even know what this is. Well, we all know he ain't going to be in there to no 2028, no matter what they do. Oh, we got people in here crashing out. So what is her sense? What is your sense of the situation, Aubrey? What is your sense of this situation? That's right. Minister seems to be in his feelings a lot. I know. I'm just saying, what is her assessment to the situation? I'm reading what she's saying. She's not riding with me. She's riding with the truth. Oh, I know you agree with what I'm saying. That's what I was like. So what is your take on it? I'm just waiting for you to break it all the way down. Because I want you to break it down to minister so he don't think I'm putting words in your mouth as they try to say, oh, y'all just agree with anything he said. My thing is, minister, what is your problem with Diddy? What is your problem with Diddy? Since it matters to you so much what the Diddy man does, what is your disdain with Sean Diddy Combs? What was his awful thing he did to you, or you felt he did? What was the awful thing? That's what I want to know. What's the awful thing that was done? Yes, my track record for being right is quite high. He's not innocent, like you said. Can you be more specific? What don't you believe is innocent? What is he guilty of, minister? Since you want to say he's not as innocent as we say he is, I'm only relating to the charges. I'm not worried about his personal behavior in his bedroom that I'm not going to ever be in. I don't care what he's doing in his bedroom. He can have a clown and porn stuff. Is he doing anything illegal in his bedroom? If it's legal, I can care less what they're doing. He got convicted of 2 Mann Act charges, not the charges that that they were implying they overcharged him for. Then that's why the prosecution should be reprimanded for actually putting that trial and all those extra cases in there. There was nothing there to ever indicate a RICO charge. For them to even stack the deck like that, they had lack of evidence. Whenever you have 9 pieces of paper and saying this is the biggest federal charge against somebody, you only got 9 sheets of paper. And then you only added like two lines to the case. The Mike Tyson, Ric Flair lawsuit is 76 pages. And I still got to put that on my Patreon. I got to upload that to the Patreon. So, well, see, they've never had a situation like this. They tried to review all those cases to say this was similar as, and these people got their, those cases were not similar to any of this. Nobody has ever been charged for the Mann Act that has flown him and his girlfriend, and repeat, girlfriend, out to another place for them to pay somebody else to have sex with them. You see, Diddy never participated anything with the sex workers. He didn't sleep with the sex workers. He just financed it. He just put the money up. So it's like, how is what he did? There's no profit there. So you can't do a RICO. The RICO is out the door immediately. Then they're trying to say that they were forced to do this. At no time in all of their text messages, nothing says anything about force. You can't force somebody to get peed on. You can't force somebody to text you out the blue saying, hey, I'm ready to freak it. I want to freak off. You can't get people to do that. Did he introduce them to that life? Maybe. He introduced it to them and they were all in. So now he made Cassie call the escorts. The escorts been all on the internet talking about, oh, me and Cassie used to talk all the time, and he got mad and shut that down. Like, look, man, you ain't to talk to my girlfriend. Like, look, I pay you to sleep with her, and that's it. Yep. So we supposed to ignore all of this and all of this arson, kidnapping, all of these things, right? They had that were removed, and here the people on Netflix and TMZs, and I'm just shocked. He's getting away. Not guilty. Not guilty. Not guilty. Yep, she called the Punisher when she was with her husband. They weren't married yet, I don't think. They were still together, but weren't married yet. But she called it. Right. They tried to do a one-man RICO on a black man, and we sitting here applauding it. This is how they fooled you and got everybody just stuck on stupid. They want you to co-sign a one-man RICO charge. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Oh, the drug addict, Cassie's drug addict friend saying Diddy dangled her over the balcony. First of all, Diddy is not the strongest man in the world. Diddy is not finna dangle no damn Cassie or any of her friends over no balcony. Diddy ain't finna damn dangle this doggone junkie. He wasn't even in town. She showed them, then they tried to deny. This is what should have got them. The whole case should have been thrown out. Right then and there, it was a mistrial. Soon as they showed that, it was over. As soon as they showed that, it was over. Yeah, the photograph showing the date it was taken and then the prosecution trying to change the date. Well, no, he definitely did that. He definitely hung her over the balcony. How can you talk definitively? Well, you have no evidence to prove it. Well, where's the evidence to prove it? Because this proves he was not there. He can't be in two places at once, can he? According to you, you're trying to make it look like he could. He was on the East Coast on tour, and we know he was there. So how was he dangling her over a balcony? Cassie wasn't even there. And in her story, she put Cassie there. Her and Cassie actually talked about the damn story, and they still screwed it up. So if both of y'all couldn't get the lie straight, everybody saw Cassie get 30 million and thought, oh, well, I know I'm finna get some money then. Then all these crooked ambulance chasing ass lawyers start running behind these people, calling them like, hey, I heard you fuck Diddy back in the day. Want to get paid? It's crazy. Oh, they all going down. It's all a matter of time. Men still want to do it. Most of these people on YouTube, they want to do it and go against Diddy because it's views for them. The moment they thought I was going against Diddy, they were promoting my videos like crazy. It was everywhere. We had all these people, these females coming in here that was defending everybody else. They had nothing to do with anybody else. It was all about, let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and do that. Right? They was up in here, and then all of a sudden, when we start having these discussions on how the case and the charges didn't look legit, that's when everybody started changing up, remember? That's when everybody started changing up. And anybody who was seen side with Diddy, they were coming after them. Diddy couldn't do nothing right, no matter how many people he didn't help, no matter how many people he did anything. Everybody and their mama wanted to target him. He's the bad guy. And it's like, damn, not one person gonna stand up. That's because they don't have no control in this industry. There's nobody unified. They watching a black man get railroaded right before their eyes, and they so scared they can't even do nothing about
it. What kind of nanny?
Man, these people will tell you anything.
Okay.
Well, it's going to be up to you. What's your thoughts on it? How do you feel? People don't care anymore. I mean, to be honest, what are you really truly looking at? You looking at some people who are backed, some people who are in a position to do great things. Then you have other people who go with the flow. That wasn't a good look for 50. 50 think it's a good look. That was the first time probably in history I said, I can't rock with 50 on this. That was the first time. That was probably the first time ever in history. I can't recall a time. And they was like, oh, he doing that because his baby mom's over there. Well, if you want your baby moms, if you mad about your baby moms, Fifth, go get your kid. Your baby mama out there getting slutted down and doing all of these different acts, right? Why you ain't put her in the house? She moved out to Cali. You could have stopped her if you wanted her. She came to Diddy. Diddy didn't go looking for her. You heard her in the trial. Her friend was dating Diddy. And then her and the friend fell out because she got in there and put herself in position. She wanted to holler at Diddy. And she crossed her friend. So Diddy didn't go seeking her out. And then Diddy told her what it was when he got there. He didn't say, look, he's like, look, I don't believe in this, one man, one woman thing. I'm like, I'm everywhere. She was all in. Now, how you go from being all in to all out just that quick? It don't make sense. Because you embarrassed that you treated this woman like a queen, right? And then she dipped out on you, and now she the hoe, and she all these different things. Okay. Well, if that's the case, mm, no. No, I never had to deal with all of that nonsense that Jay talking about right there because we seen it is what it is, right? 50 Cent is no glass house. So when you see people like that start talking, it's like, dude, really? You finna talk? That's when it gets crazy. It's like, you're not in a position to talk all the stuff you didn't did. And the fact is, he's not even getting paid off the document because they can't pay him because then he will be added to the lawsuit. G Unit ain't even added, ain't even there. The only reason he's there right now is because they're coming with, they finna hit him and take one of his deals. Oh yeah. Oh no, they don't want nothing there. 50 for just looking for love. My thing is, dude, you the one. This the same woman that charged you for abuse. Did you forget? You broke the door down. Like, dog, you broke the door down after she locked you out and you said it's your house and broke the door down. This is what we see now. That's people's fault. People allow that to happen. That's what we say all the time. That's people's fault. People come in there and allow that. Breaking the door down is nothing. Oh, that ain't all he did. So if he wants to keep talking, that is not a good avenue for him to go down. Trust me. Mm-hmm.
Cent was a manipulator, how he was a beater, how he was an abuser, how he was verbally abused her, and then it's just wild. Dad, you know what I'm saying? So even his son saw that this chick was just there for the bag, and 50's one of them, you know what I mean? He's not going, I mean, he'll make sure that you look good when you go out with him, but he's not about to be out here, oh, baby, here's 10,000, let me give you this. Oh, here's 50,000, go get this purse, go get this bag. Oh, here's 15,000, you know, go get you some new shoes. He's not one of them type of dudes, you know what I'm saying? He's going to take care of his chick, but not on that type of level like some of these dudes be tricking, you know what I'm saying? That's why she ended up going with Diddy anyway, because, you know, Diddy tricked Daddy Dollars. He's going to make sure she got the bag. She's flying first class. You know, she's out here stunting, messing with Diddy, and that's why she left 50 Cent and went with Diddy. Anyway, let's take a look at this clip from 50 Cent's first baby mama. She talks about how he's a master manipulator, how he's an abuser, how all the same things he's saying about Diddy. Hold that mirror up, and she's saying it about 50. Let's tune in.
Yeah, he's a sex symbol in a sense because he's in great shape. Why wouldn't you want to be with someone at that point in his career?
Because he was abusive. Well, he still is abusive. I'm just not in his presence, but he's abusive. Emotionally, physically, he's abusive. And the last straw for me was he hit me in front of my daughter. And I said, as a mother, if I allow her to see him hit me and stay with him, what example am I setting for my daughter? And that's when that was it for me. It was that
Right.
and another incident with Marquise. So it was two incidents, but it was kind of close. And there was another incident with Marquise, Yale, and Banks used to have an apartment they used to share in Manhattan. And I went to pick 50 up from there. So Marquise told me that I guess like he had a girl there, like, you know, a girl that, he just told me something. So him and I got into an argument. He beat the mess out of me and then told Marquise, see, it's your fault. I had to whoop your mother's ass. So those were two incidents for me that I said, no, it's time to go.
So the abuse was there. Okay. About what year was that? You remember?
I left him in about maybe 2007, 2008, around that year, around the time.
So basically, it was from you to Sierra, then to the most recent.
You know, he definitely had different holes in different areas. Because let's say if Marquise was with him, he had a different woman with him. But you know, like that's not none of my business. But Sierra was like his main girlfriend at the time, which Marquise like really, really liked him. Like he always said. And by the way, it's so crazy. Marquise always expressed how much he liked Sierra. But when he met Daphne, I never forget, we were visiting New York, and his dad and Daphne was staying at his grandparents' house, and I was staying at my grandmother's house. So, you know, he took Marquise over to his grandparents' house, you know, like whatever, little visit or whatever. And Marquise came back and he looked at me and he said, "Mommy, she's not for my father." And I said, "Well, why don't you tell you that? Tell him that he's not." She's like, "She's just." I said, "Well, what did she? Is she nice to you or did she disrespect me?" He's like, "She didn't do anything to me." She said, "She's just not for my father."
All right, nation, there you have it. Hey, it's wild, wild work. I know, listen, I know there's some bitter females out there. I know that there's some bitter baby mamas out there that, you know what I'm saying, are mad because they not.
Exactly. So I'm just saying, if you're gonna be a glass house, this ain't the way to go. You think Jay-Z and Rock Nation ain't finna start blasting that and putting that out there? Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. That's the reality. So you got to be careful when you put yourself out there that all of this stuff is going on. It'll implode and come back in your face. She was with Jason Derulo or whatever. She was with Jason Derulo at the fifth. And what did you come up with? Mm-hmm. She's with Jason Derulo. And once he did that, it went to a whole nother level. No, he came front and act like he wasn't in love with the chick.
50
Fifth
Cent's
mad
baby
because he
mom,
put that
Daphne
chick on the
Joy, is
pedestal.
the Jane Doe in the trial. Well, 50 Cent took to Instagram to throw a shady Father's Day post towards her, and this is what he had to say. So he says, "Oh, it's Father's Day? Happy Father's Day, little B. I'll have full custody soon, little B. You'll be back on OnlyFans in no time, little B. But how's your day going, little B?" A mess. So as you guys know, allegedly,
You will have full custody real soon. Well, why don't you have full custody then? She's still living in the house where Diddy's paying for the house. They was like, why she wasn't in the documentary? Why wasn't her name mentioned? Because if her name would have popped up in that documentary, Netflix is getting sued and everybody else would have been sued. I told you, she went in trial as a Jane Doe. She wasn't in there as 50 Cent's baby mom. She wasn't in there under her name. She was under a Jane Doe. her name was still never legally released to the public. So they'd have called her by her name and put her in that documentary saying it's her and he did this and X, Y, and Z. Everybody getting sued. So she couldn't be added to the documentary. Cassie was they had another Jane Doe in there, right? They didn't mention her because you can't mention a Jane Doe in that situation unless you say her name as Jane and then block out, and you can't show photographs or anything of that said person. Even though the internet can put it together who is who, everybody's pretty much they chose to go under a Jane Doe for their protection. Yeah, I know. What him know, right? Him be crazy. I know. They said on all through the documentary, they keep bringing that disclaimer up. Sean Diddy Combs is acquitted of all these charges. Even though we're going to continuously tell you lies, don't forget he's been acquitted of all charges. He said, why is he wearing a wedding ring in that photo? Let's see. Yeah, that looks bad, man. It's a bad look for him. That's the harsh, stark reality of dealing with all this nonsense, man. Straight up. That's the stark reality of dealing with this type of bullshit. But I'm going to get back to the games, man. I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace.